Hello and welcome. This is going to be just a whatever comes out reading. We've already got the daily Dharma for today uploading. And this one, I just kind of want to get an oracle card to give us a theme for the reading. And then we're going to move into the Archetypes deck and possibly the mixed shamanic deck and a few others as time allows. Let's see what wants to come out. Let's get this one. Oh, we've got two. Okay, the Yin Empress and Enter the Jade Temple. Both from the Kuan Yin deck. So the Yin Empress is 40. The Jade Temple is 11. So the Yin Empress here talks about us as a collective, whether we are masculine or feminine expressed. It talks about our ability to develop the true sacred feminine, to hold space for and to uplift the feminine principle in our world, to be able to manifest and shift our life through the power of manifestation and magnetism, and through self-nourishment, nurturing. And then we have this Jade Temple. It's really talking about the Jade Temple is the heart space. And so it's the sacred temple of self. It talks quite a bit about self-respect and being very centered and aligned within our energy, and treating ourselves in a sacred way and showing others that pathway with our energy. Underneath the deck, we have Sisters of the Star Blossoms talking about the Pleiadian, I butchered that, the Pleiades star blossoms, I believe was what they used to call that constellation. And this is talking about soul tribe and like-minded individuals, perhaps other star seeds, and being connected to something beyond this world that's leading us to understand an unprecedented way to hold space for our own inner feminine essence. So I do love to read a little bit out of the books when we get these. Oh, I've even got the Star Blossoms card marked in here from previous. It says, it's good to remember that while we each take our own unique journey back into divine bliss and truth, we have plenty of friends that love us unconditionally and wish to help us find the way home with the least suffering and the greatest joy. When we allow ourselves to be helped, we help others too. It's a spiral of support and love that is wishing to connect more so with you now. So absolutely, we're connected more to our cosmic self than perhaps ever before, or this return energy coming back into our feminine nature here with this. But I do believe, like I was saying, that this is us being way showers by our own thorough embodiment and self-love capacity. Then we're able to show and demonstrate that love, that unconditional love for the greater collective, for this experience. And we're able to bring up perspectives or approaches that others cannot necessarily fathom on their own. And we're also gaining those insights from other members of our soul tribe, or others that are entangled with our energy, that we connect with, that are differently minded. We are able to utilize all of that energy to maintain a sense of our own center, our own core, and to really develop a very nurturing self-love from that perspective and demonstrate it out into the world. So the number 11 says, Kuan Yin in her temple of peaceful jade causes all conflict to elevate to higher peaceful resolution. A resolution and healing of any situation that is concerning to you is already underway. In fact, you're being asked to begin to feel the relief of that resolution now, so that you can more readily receive the divine solution and blessing of peace from the beloved Kuan Yin when it arrives. So there may be a situation that has been disloyal or betraying or insulting, disrespectful to the core of your sacredness, your divinity. This may be something happening from an early age or ongoing, other situations that have arisen. Maybe it's a situation where this has been something that you've engaged in that didn't honor yourself. Like playing small when somebody is relentlessly undermining you or something like that. And with this, the Jade Temple, we're getting back into the heart space and saying, no, you don't. Nope. So the Yin Empress here, number 40. So taking back our power and our ability to self-regulate from a situation, it seems. So the Yin Empress brings peace, prosperity, and success to her beloved devotees. Your soul purpose includes healing and empowerment of the divine feminine. The Yin Empress herself. You gain power, assistance, and untold blessings in following your soul purpose. You are lifted and supported in your sacred work now. And it does say that you are a spiritual leader and a pioneer. And part of what you're here to do for the planet on a soul level, whether you're man or a woman, is to empower the divine feminine, the cosmic empress of yin or divine feminine energy, so that we might live in more balance as a species on this earth. So it looks like this is a bit of a continuation from the daily Dharma energies. Yeah. So actually, let me get this archetypal deck. Let's see what archetypes are stepping forward. These are they can speak to many different levels. Sometimes the helpful or unhelpful influences that we are sorting through, navigating, and determining, vetting out what value, if any, they hold or continue to contribute to our lives, how they weigh us down or uplift us, and what it is that we're trying to integrate and grow and learn through to transmute in our lives. All right, this deck isn't really speaking very much. Let me get a good shuffle. I'm splitting it to the flame and the cave. This flame card is like that sacred inner light, the spiritual fire, the torch within the Jade Temple, and how we protect that. And with the cave, it's like going into our cave as hermits, withdrawing and reflecting upon what's coming through and what's speaking to us. I think we're going to stop there. Okay, the flame stays on the top here. Then the cave, the gem. Look at all those worms around the perimeter here in the grass. It's definitely talking about the pearls of wisdom, the gem within the suffering. And it's something that came out yesterday was that life isn't about suffering, it's about growth. But sometimes suffering is the most expedient manner to get to the realization, to push us to evolve, to push us back unto the self, so that we are forced to be our own protector, provider. And that's why many of us may identify as being spiritual warriors in this time and space, in this realm. Underneath, we have the mask, integration of this process. So let me see if anything else wants to come out. There's something also about pressure points. EFT, is that what you talk about? EMT? Oh my gosh, all of these acronyms are incorrect. Where you do the pressure points to release stored trauma in the body. Something about like the tapping energy work. You're getting to a deeper level of how this process serves you and how it's helping you to speak up for that inner divine feminine. The siren And then there's that red, for whatever reason, I'm seeing how is it in Hinduism when they have the red gem on the forehead. I don't know if that's something that has a message of importance to anyone. I do believe it's some type of coming of age, rededication, commitment to the spiritual quest. And there's a lot of social norms caught up in any type of coming of age or dedication to belief systems. But many of us won't necessarily be identified with that. But it was also talking about this gem and the connection to our root chakra. And there was something also, I apologize if this is a lot for some of you, but there was something about the coming of age having to do with the young feminines and coming into their moon cycle and the siren here. I think that maybe part of what we're talking about is the objectification, perhaps the socialized sexualization of youth and women in particular, but we could talk about that in all of its nuances for a long time. I feel like for some of us, we are encountering something that is very tempting, or we're being told that something is tempting. So there are so many things coming in. I think I want to let that sit for a second and get more cards. The Destroyer under the deck here. Yeah, I guess where I'm kind of going with that is that we're really challenging these social norms. And, you know, it came out in the first video, so much of this, something about that, this is going to seem quite vulgar to some of you, but often I have said in my more disenfranchised moments where I was very upset by different stereotypes and expectations for myself, where if you are seen to be attractive, you are advanced. The surface level, the imagery, the mystique, the mask that's worn, whether it's makeup, whether it's I'm hearing accoutrements of your station, you know, if you have the fancy car, the whatever it is, a Coach purse or whatever it is, that I don't know name brands, the Lamborghini, for instance, then it's like, oh, well, that commands respect. But does it? Because that obviously doesn't equate to the same thing. And so are we being lured by things such as the material? And here comes the vulgar part, so plug your ears if you're easily offended, folks. It's the belief that particularly women, but above all individuals, are seen to have more valuable if they are sexually pleasing and attractive. And so it's like, if we can see them as somebody that, and this isn't a value that I hold, it's one that I challenge, so I hope that you understand where I'm coming from. The belief that particularly the toxic stereotypical masculine finds the woman's value to be unequal, not equal playing ground, but only valuable in her objectification. If she is able to be sexualized, or I want to just use the word, and I don't want to use the word, the affability, if you get my meaning, like the F word, her ability to be sexualized is where many individuals that are unaware of the deeper meaning and the deeper sacredness, where they get lost and they epitomize that above all else that she may or he may offer up to the world. Their skill set are not seen to be valued. They are disparaged. They are downplayed. And other individuals that are on this materially prosperous path are elevated. And so the siren comes to say, you know, you could just, if you can't beat them, you could join them over here. You could just get that designer bag or that awesome car, and slick your hair in a specific way and wear the mask of beauty and paint yourself up, and then automatically your status increases. And it's so easy and alluring to think, well, look at all these people who are successful by buying into the groupthink mentality, by blowing smoke up people's nostrils and telling them all that they want to hear, love bombing in place of actual genuine connection. And so here I feel like something new is calling to us, and it's the awareness of the illusion and how unfulfilling the illusion becomes for everybody involved in it, and how the true temptation is really the beauty and the love and light connected to the return to the heart space, the return to one's own personal empowerment, sovereignty, and self-respect and self-actualization. So let's get a couple of cards from the mixed shamanic deck here. Yeah, the feminine's really talking today. I don't know if this is a reflection of just my energy here, the socio-political climates, and the various things really coming up in the collective, worldwide, really. Yeah, seeing through illusions. Let's stop there. So 45, interestingly, the seer, you are seeing through something. I'm also seeing this cougar bobcat energy here in the foreground. It's like so many stereotypes even with this card, and some other images are stepping forward. So I'm seeing how everything is ultimately connected, and that we are seeing through the veil, the illusion. And look at how this individual has this sacred paint. I'm not sure what type of paint that is on the face. I know that there are so many varied native, indigenous, tribal individuals that are engaged in various rituals, honorings, the dances that they will partake in, the conjuring and the summoning of spiritual essence, the honoring of the earth and of all creatures and all energies here. And it seems that maybe you identify with having been an old soul, or maybe you can understand these other cultures, and you've been able to become more diversified and more aware of various things. And yeah, it's like you are breaking the mold in some way here underneath, repairing the veil, forgiveness. So sometimes I see this card with the, that movie Brave. Is that Pixar or Disney? I think it's a Disney princess. It must be. So the Brave has this part in it where the witch gives her this spell and says something like, mend the bond, fate be changed, mend the bond that pride has created, or something like that. So there's something here that needs correction, and perhaps this is something that the pride of others in the world, the egos of others, have created various infighting, various assaults to the sacred nature of humanity through is the word denigration, like the denial and the reduction of the feminine and all that she does in this world. And again, for those who need to hear it, this is masculine and feminine have these polarities, but there is this repairing of some type of damage, to retreat into the self, into the inner temple, to conjure that inner flame, to gather that insight from within, to pull and transmute all of those energies with those worms into the gems, the pearls of wisdom, and to utilize the siren's call, both to see through the false claims and the true calling of our purpose and our path, and allowing the calling and the purpose and the love to call us from the core, and allow the soul to be led more than the ego to be falsely led. Crown Games. Look at that. That one came out yesterday. The right use of our power, to be able to use that plexus energy powerfully, to be creative co-creators in this world, to bring the light, to stare down the false ego constructs, and to rebuild from that place with a more inspired, inclusive, gorgeous energy here that includes that calling and that purpose. We're bringing people back into their cosmic heritage, back into their indigenous roots, where they were more connected to the earth and not the material. Wild Woman is one of my favorite cards in the deck. You may be the wild woman in your situation, or maybe you have a wild woman that you respect very highly. The wild woman is one who is so intricately involved in earthly, true earthly. I'm not talking about like when we talk about the third dimension, about the materialization of manifestations necessarily, but that's almost inherent to being able to work with the Mother Gaia, the elementals, and to conjure through the tantric energies within. That was, I believe, what yesterday's was about. That sexual energy, that flame, that life force energy. When we dance, when we sing, when we move the body in ways that feel good and right and true, we start to liberate those stagnant energies. When we do the tapping, we're asking the body, don't hold on to anything that doesn't belong. I'm releasing, and accepting and inviting peace and respect and sacredness back into the core of the vessel. And that is the gem that we're here to unleash on the world. And the wild woman dances and she enjoys all of these sensual pleasures without possibly getting caught up too much in what would take her down the wrong path. Of course, this is an experiential situation here, being souls and bodies, and we're here to experiment, to be curious, to have failures and successes. I'm not trying to judge anything as less or more, but this is about being able to decipher and discern between what's good for us and bad for us, so to speak, on a personal level, and what honors the sacred and what denigrates the sacred, and to stay in a place where we can honor the soul and the connection and regenerate the light. Repairing the collective, repairing the veil is like, us being able to see through the veil coming up earlier. It's like there are all these rips and tears in it where even in our own chakra energy centers, there's like these drains and soul sucking experiences that we can reclaim that energy back into the self and repair our own energetic auric shield, and we are repairing the veil. It's like no longer does it need to shroud our awareness, but it can actually liberate us at the same time. And I think that each of you know what that means in your own life, to destroy some type of incorrect context and to bring forth what we're truly here to do, to be. Two falling off. Okay, we've got the 4 and the 5 of forces. These came out together recently in one of my off-camera ones. Both timing cards. Interesting, correct? So maybe something here has taken a year or will take a year. 4 and 5, this is the wands. It's like stability to a bit of conflict and quarrelsome energy, a bit of chaos energy, but all of these are just the cycles of life. And it does look like we're talking about the seasons changing on Mother Earth and how we can harness the timing that comes and flows, ebbs and flows through our life, and to then build upon with this wild woman our connection, and with this indigenous individual, to be able to really connect with our roots, the root energy that came up in the siren card, to deeply connect with earth in a whole new way. And it will lead us to paths unknown. So there's a choice point here where it's like the calling or the distraction. And we're reclaiming our energy from distractions and from habits, addictions, codependency. This has been going on for years, but this year in particular seems so perfectly aligned to get us into a mode where we can outgrow some things that have really held us back or oppressed our energies. And yes, here we have Archangel Gabriel, number 3, coming out. So number 3 is the number of the goddess, creativity, solar plexus, as well as self-mastery, in my opinion. And Archangel Gabriel is generally associated with the trumpet, that is the declaration of shifting, changing, resurrection, and recalling energy. And it's the calling in general, where when he sounds his horn, all of the souls that are aligned to their calling are hearing that call, and it continues to call. And as we get closer and closer, the call gets a little bit more distinct. And as we move through this growth, there are more and more factors and influences calling us back into our center, into our core, into our calling. And we're fully embodying this gorgeous energy of interconnectivity with the elements, with Gaia, and so on. So what else is Gabriel calling us in to do? Actually, let's get just a couple of these code cards. What's growing or changing coming in the next period as we're recalling our energy? We'll take those two. Underneath the deck, authority. Yes. Didn't we see that you're the leader and the pioneer for calling this sacred feminine energy back into this world? Synergy and coherence. Beautiful. Working with everything that is, working with other individuals, co-creating quite profoundly with the spiritual essence and the divine essence that is here. And coherence is all about resonance and understanding, being able to, as we were saying, hearing and deciphering the call and understanding with our energy how we can work with that energy, and which things are in our best interest and which things are not, and being able to be our own best authority in that regard. We are really paving the way for generations to come, for those individuals, those young individuals looking up to us. They don't even need to be earthly younger than us to look up to our energy, our embodiment process, our courage, our voice, the way that we show up in the world, the beliefs that we advocate for. Power is the card that flipped out. There is an empowerment of of the calling, of the sacred, of the need to return to health and happiness. And we can witness this on so many levels within people's minds that are around us, the socio-political, wherever. We can witness that certain individuals are uplifting. They work on inspiration. They work on, you're good enough, you're valued, we're doing this together. And then other individuals are talking about, this guy's bad, that guy, look at this guy, calling names, telling us that we should be afraid. It's like, are we going to believe in fear or love? Which side of this weights and measures do we want to find ourselves on? The one that says that everybody here is garbage, even me, because we can't see others as garbage if we don't see the self as some type of garbage. And so there is this need to show up, not to say you are shameful, because they have enough shame. And that's why they're shamelessly advocating for the shameful, fearful nature of things. But we need to be the embodiment and the pinnacle of all that is good, all that is right. And we need to empower that energy within our own energy and broadcast that forward. We need to take up that symbolic trumpet and to pound the drum of all that is good. Yes, under the deck, frequency shift. We are bringing a frequency shift in our world, and we are powerful. Essence of change is within our energy frequency, and we are on board with it. So believe in your power and authority and leadership potential, because the powers that be are saying that you've got it. All right. Also flying out prayers. So manifestation, vision, questing, and actually praying may be quite powerful for you as you advocate with voice under the deck for what is to come. So set your intentions. Under voice is worthy and gifted. You have the gift to use your voice and your powerful alignment with the sacred to actually call this forward and to create powerful change in this world for the better. And I absolutely believe in you guys. So thank you again so much. I have so much gratitude for all of you guys that are coming and showing up for these broadcasts. I don't give out stuff that the others do, talking about frivolous things. We talk about some real intricate details of the spiritual up-leveling and integration here. So I appreciate you guys for being willing to be on this path and advocate for the light and the love. So take good care of yourselves. Until next time, folks.